Badminton bad habits you need to stop doing. Today we're going over the 7 top bad habits that you're doing, going from the most beginner to the most advanced. That's completely ruining your game. Fix all these habits and you'll be a pro in no time. The first bad habit you're doing is that your swing is not fully extended. What does this mean? When you're swinging, your contact point is oftentimes very low, like this. One, giving you less angle in your shots, and second, not giving you that full power through because you're like a little T-Rex. What can you do? Instead, you want to be making sure that your swing is nice and open, fully extended, just like a bow and arrow. And when you're coming up to swing, you're fully extended, especially moving forward. That way, it's like this. You're like a tractor about to roll over everything, coming over and swing all the way through to generate that power. The second bad habit you're making is your momentum. You're shifting your momentum backwards while you're hitting, generating less power moving forwards. What does that mean? Oftentimes you're moving back and hitting at the same time. So you're moving back and hitting while your shot is trying to go forward. Another is when you're standing, you're not standing steady and you're leaning back too much and not turning that momentum forward as you're hitting. What you should be doing is making sure that when you're moving back, you have a steady stance right before you hit, and as you're hitting, your momentum is already transferring forward into the shot. And if you're jumping, you come, you jump, and as soon as you land, you're landing in a forward sprinting position. That way, you have double the power moving forward. The third mistake you're making is going to be with your grip. Now, as a beginner or amateur player, what you're probably doing is instead of holding it in a neutral position, you're probably holding it in a panhandle position. That means your thumb is not on the widest part of the racket and it's on the side of the racket. That means when you're swinging, you're doing a forward and back motion like this. Now, if you look at my wrist, do you see how limited this motion is? It's around like a 45-degree motion. Whereas if I went into a neutral grip and I did a full pronation, now you can see my racket can turn 180 degrees instead of a 45-degree motion, giving you more power to generate into your shot. The next mistake you're going to be making is going to be on your backhand shot. And a lot of you, what you're doing is that you're not leading with your elbow, meaning you're coming up here and then you're doing this motion, like you're bending backwards. One, power, no power, because you're not going through. Second, you're going to cause injury to your elbow because you're always overextending. How you want to properly do it is come back, and before you hit, you want to make sure your elbow is leading out first. Always your elbow first. Your elbow is going to be pointing at the burst, and then followed by the pronation of your wrist, fingers, and then all the way through, going forward into the shot. One terrible mistake you guys are making is going to be in your lunges. When you're lunging, oftentimes your knee passes your front of the foot. Now, why is this important? You see, if we lunge properly on our heel and coming down, we'll have all the support on our muscle groups, on our hamstrings, on our quads. But once our knee starts passing our foot, first of all, our hamstring disengages and our quads also disengage, so that all of our pressure is now going on our knee. One, causing injury. Second, causing instability because now you're on the toe of your foot. And some of you wonder, why do I roll my ankle when I play badminton? Because you're on the toe of your foot trying to support this much weight. It's really easy to roll your ankle, and from there, it's also very difficult to come back. One common rule that you guys aren't following is the balls of feet and the heel rule. Now, when you're in ready position and you want to move, you always want to be on the ball of your feet so that you can be bouncy and you can move around quickly. If you're trying to move with your heel, you're going to be stuck on the ground and move around very slowly like you're doing a crab walk, which is what many of you do. But when you're doing lunges, you want to make sure you're lunging with your heel for stability and you're not going on to the balls of your feet because there's less motion there. So basically, in the simplest concept, when you want to be agile and move quickly, you stay on the balls of your feet. If you want to be steady on your lunges and shots, then that's when you go to your heels. But most of the time when you're moving, you will always want to be active and agile. Our last mistake is going to be the recovery from the lunge, which a lot of you are making. You often see that sometimes you hit the shot and then you start running forward and you can't recover, or you hit the shot and you try to push back and you're using all this energy to try to come back, but it's not that difficult. So after you hit your lunge shot, what you want to be doing is, because all your momentum is forward and very spread out, to push back will cause a lot of power generation just to get back to the same spot. So instead, we want to drag our back foot forward so that our momentum neutralizes to the center again. And then from there, we can step back again with minimal energy and also a faster recovery rate. Backhand or forehand?
I don't know.
Backhand or forehand?
Maybe backhand? I don't